The Roosters bandwagon rolls on, Holy Spirit defeat Mitchie in a cliffhanger, and the Hunters claim their maiden Intrust Super Cup premiership. You'll hear about it all here tonight on Roosters TV. Crowhurst, Nathan Hughes, Mike Simpson, coming to you live from the mighty Brighton Roosters. Gentlemen, we've got Guernseys for round two.
Yes, very much so.
Yeah.
Good to be back for episode 2.
Surely is.
Happy to be back, boys.
That's it. Now, great weekend of football just finished. Simo, talk to us about a couple of games you enjoyed. What caught your fancy last weekend?
Yeah, mate, out here at Albany Creek last Saturday, there was a double game on there. It was Carina and Valleys in the first game, and then Brighton and West Brisbane Panthers in the Premier grade. Pretty windy conditions out there, as you can attest to from last weekend. But saw 2 pretty good games. The one that was really interesting to me was the West Brisbane Panthers and Brighton game. Not the result that people were probably thinking of at the end.
Pretty comfortable for Brighton in the end over what was a very good Panthers side.
It was. It wasn't the fact that that the Panthers weren't bad. It was just Brighton got off to a great start, and then what it's like playing catch-up football. It's really hard, especially in those conditions. It was really tough for kicking and stuff like that. But Brighton certainly did come out on top of that one for sure.
A couple of standout players for you from the Roosters?
Marlon Doak, definitely. Gavin Causa, definitely up there. Brent Boyd with his kicking. In those conditions to nail 9 out of 9, impeccable. It was fantastic.
I still remember it's only 2 seasons ago, I think, that Doakey scored a hat-trick playing for Redcliffe in Intrust Super Cup against the Dolphins out at Redcliffe Oval. Absolutely cut us to shreds, so going to be a real asset for any team he plays for, Marlon.
Exactly right. So, big week coming up tomorrow for West Brisbane Panthers. They might get a second bite of the cherry with Brighton, but I suppose they've got to overcome Valleys yet, and Valleys were very good on Saturday as well.
You talk about playing catch-up football. The game that I went out and saw on Saturday made the trip over the north side to the home of the Valley Diehards at Emerson Park. First time I've gone to that ground. You've often told me about how good these grounds are, and I've got to say I was really impressed, mate. Lovely wee ground.
Blokes at Valleys need to be commended for a couple of reasons. There's the backbone of those volunteers out there who do it for absolutely pittance. They do it for the love of the club. The ground's impeccable. It doesn't get used for big games like Tip Beaumont trophies, grand finals, etc. for a reason. It's just in tip-top shape. David Jones, Craig Nielsen, Luke Gatehouse. But not only that, on game day there at Emerson Park, as you probably know, in the tower. It's a really good atmosphere there on game day.
And a fantastic game on the weekend. Holy Spirit shot out to a 10-0 lead, and you were thinking this could be anything. Then Mitchie boys played some of that catch-up football you were talking about, got out to their own 10-point lead in the second half, and it looked like it was going to be them to take out the win. And then another comeback from Holy Spirit, played some really good football in the last 20 minutes and scored the winning try literally almost as the hooter was going. So real cliffhanger, real topsy-turvy game, but some quality football from 2 really eager sides.
Yeah, that's what I was sort of alluding to at the start, mate. The first episode, the second division, underrated.
Yeah.
And you do get to see some good games. So I think Tippo can probably agree with that.
Yeah, some very freakish talent in around this second division.
A lot of ex-Queensland Cup players.
Ex-Queensland Cup players and players that haven't been noticed. They come through the system without being noticed and gone on to big clubs and bigger things like Colts or Fogs as it was called, or even BRL now. So there's players that coming through that haven't been noticed yet, should be.
What caught your attention from last weekend, mate? A couple of interesting games there?
The game before ours, Carina and Valleys, I really thought, deep down, Carina might have had the nudge over them.
We talked about that last weekend. I think there were some predictions amongst the table that we thought Carina might have got up.
Yeah. By the back end of the year, Carina were coming good. The other side, in my books, the side to beat. The side that really going to worry us in finals footy.
Yep.
But like footy goes, and like finals footy is, best side wins on the day, and the side that wants it the most. That showed, Valleys wanted it more than Carina.
As we mentioned last week, we love this time of year just for these kind of results. The unpredictability, you just never know what any given team's going to turn up with on any given Sunday, do you?
nah, it's finals footy.
Yeah.
Different ball game.
And a win for your guys, as Simo talked about before. How did that game pan out? What are your thoughts on that one?
I think we just come out of the blocks really, really fast and exploded.
Yeah.
We didn't really give them any opportunity to play footy against us, which is good. I think we slackened off a bit towards that second half. I think that's just the mentality of, leading by so much. I think you tend to die off a little bit.
Yep.
You sort of protect the lead. You don't sort of try to add more points. Where really, for us to win this comp, I think we need to put the foot to the pedal. Don't worry about playing protective footy. Play willing to win.
Mm-hmm. Good stuff. All right, guys, that'll do for the first segment. Great start to the show. We'll have a look at some of our sponsors coming up now. Please, people, give them some love. If they're on social media, follow them. If not, go out and use their products. Without the sponsors, there is no Roosters TV, and we'll be back very shortly. Welcome back, and joining us at the desk, Bulimba Bulldogs centre, Jarrod Kendall. Jarrod, welcome to Roosters TV.
Thank you.
Mate, thank you for coming up tonight. I know you've travelled a fair distance to be here. We appreciate the effort. Simo, you got a few questions for Jarrod?
Yeah, mate. Stellar effort coming up. We wanted someone from the south side to come up here, not just predominantly anyone coming from the north side. So Jarrod's come up from the Bulldogs there, so stellar effort, mate. So the reason why we got you on, Jarrod, was this weekend, big game for you guys against Sunnybank. Got beaten last week 18-14 by Pride. Pride make it to the grand final in Open 1 South. You've got Sunnybank this week. What's the plan?
I think really the plan to go out there and sort of, it's finals footy, so we've got to up the tempo. They're going to come out 100 miles an hour, and we've got to weather that storm and sort of play our game. Go back to what we know as a team, what's been working for us over the years, and do that. But it's hard to sort of have a game plan in finals footy because it's another level.
Yeah, we discussed off camera, mate, before that Sunnybank, no pushovers. They're very hard to beat at home. This is on neutral ground. You guys are away from your fortress. It's very hard to beat you guys at Balmoral as well. Do you think that neutral ground's going to have a bit of ebb and flow to the game, or?
I don't think so. It is so much better playing at home. As you know, you're confident because you train there all the time, so you know the ins and outs of the field. But we're all playing in the same, in the same conditions anyway. So there's no advantages there, and that's the whole reason why they do that, I guess. Neutral ground, but yeah, they are still a solid side and a decent side at that. So it's not going to be, it's going to be another tough game.
Yep. Just quickly, for the viewers out there, where and when is this game? Where do we need to be and when do we need to be there?
It's at Roachdale at 3 o'clock.
Ian Clarkson
Oval, yep.
3 o'clock on Saturday, is it?
3 o'clock on Saturday. Yep.
Okay, good stuff.
Crow, I just wanted to touch on one thing with Bulimba. You got to give it to this club. They have no junior base to look upon. They don't have any other side bar their ones playing in there. So the nucleus of their side are the guys that you see that are running out there on the weekend. That's what they have.
Yeah.
5 straight grand finals.
It's a remarkable effort, isn't it?
Incredible effort. Yeah. The calibre of players in those sides is phenomenal. Names that I can just pop off the top of my head: Ty Beetham, absolutely warhorse for that side. Dan Waterson. Jarrod's played BRL for Logan Brothers and South Logan. You've got Adam Ogden at halfback. Jarrod Joinby, Player of the Year last year for Eden's Landing, out on the wing. So there's a wide range of players in this side. They've got the experience in there. But I suppose what I wanted to ask Jarrod was, how do you keep that brotherhood together? How do you keep that ball rolling? That 5 grand finals in a row. I mean, that's phenomenal, mate.
Yeah, I think a lot has to do with those calibre of players. It sort of draws, especially younger guys, in to want to play with them, so they can learn and benefit a lot more. And that people see that, you know, and it gives a drive to want to go and do that, to better yourself, and like I just think that with the people that have played, you know, like the grade football and some of the guys that you have mentioned there, like Ty Beetham's the one that got me there, you know what I mean? So it's people like that and Adam Camboris's and that they bring people in, and even Cameron Joyce and that, you know, and it's those calibre of people that bring them in and want to stay. But not only that, it's also the people behind the scenes that
Absolutely.
do a lot for the club and for the players, that they, you know, they have everything sorted for us, game day, you know, training, everything. So, you know, it's those sort of people that do those things that don't get seen. Like we go out there and play the footy, but they bring us everything, you know, and that helps to keep that club nice and tight.
Yeah.
You know.
It's not just the current crop of players, Crowe, that hold this team together. I was at their last home game. They played Capella beat Capella that day 36-4, I think, from memory, but they had an old boys day there. And the one thing I noticed about the club, well, that day was the amount of those old boys in that Canberra. So it goes to show exactly what this club, the effect that it has on these players. They just want to keep coming back. I mean, there wasn't just one or two blokes there; the place was packed. You know, so it does have that aura about it, and there are people that just want to go and play for them. So, you know, they are doing something right. And as Jarrod said, behind the scenes, those volunteers, they do make up a lot of the, you know, the backbone of that club.
And we all know that people like that are the heart and soul of any club, aren't they? I mean, here at the Roosters, at my Tigers, it's those guys and ladies that do the work behind the scenes. As you said before, no money, no accolades. They just turn up every week and do what needs done to guide you along.
Jarrod, just one thing I want to touch on with you, mate, is I noticed that you're goal kicking this year.
Yeah.
Because normally you don't kick. I think Cameron Joyce usually has kicked.
The last few years, Jai Smith was our kicker.
Jai, yeah.
And then Luke Bell was kicking last year.
Yep.
And then I've always been a goal kicker.
Yep.
But I've just never gone and said, hey, I'm going to go kick the goals.
Yeah.
You know, like if the kickers didn't want to kick, because Josh Few was kicking.
That's right.
For most of the season, and when he was having an off day, I'd go, you know, like I'll take over. And then in the end, he's just said, you know, you're better off starting kicking, and then if you're having a bad day, then we can swap over. But
one thing I wanted to mention, Crowe, and you know the name of the coach of Jarrod's opposition, or the Bulldogs' opposition on Saturday, Jason
Gainey, yeah.
Just wanted to ask Jarrod who are the danger men for the Pride, he thinks, and you know, what's his take on the Pride season so far as well? Potentially that's who you could be coming up if you...
Yeah, well, if we get through this week,
yep.
Either us or South will be playing against them, but they're there for a reason, obviously. They go straight through because they, you know, I think they've got such a young side, and a side that has that drive to want to win, to want to be the best side, and they're playing for each other at the moment, and they're a quality side, and you know, there's players out there like Chapman. He's doing his job for them, you know. So and then the couple of back rollers are really working hard for them. David Gorman, he's playing well for them as well. So, you know, they're not going out there and being individuals or anything like that. They're playing well as a team, you know, all across the board. So it's hard to really pinpoint someone that in their side that's been their gun. You know, like they're just playing. They're playing as a team.
Yeah. Just about what's transpired during the year is that you know, Beenleigh haven't had many losses, but the losses that they have had have been at the hands of Bulimba. Bulimba beat them at home 20-18 during the year, so they can be beaten. And as I said, Bulimba do have the experience there, and as I mentioned at the start of the program, you know, Sunnybank as well. So this weekend's game is going to be give or take. You know, it's going to be there for the taking. It's who wants it more to set up pretty much a big showdown for grand final day.
One more time for people out there, where and when are we going to be on Saturday for this game?
Roachdale, Ian Clarkson Oval at 3 o'clock on Saturday.
Be there.
Absolutely. Mate, Jarrod, thank you much for joining us. We're going to have a break now. Are you happy to come back after the break and talk some Q Cup with us?
Yeah, no worries.
That'll be awesome. All right. And we're back. Don't forget to go out and follow us on Facebook. If you haven't done it yet, like and share the page. We've got the YouTube channel up and we'll have the Instagram page up soon. So get on those and give Roosters TV all the love. Gentlemen, let's talk Intrust Super Cup.
Right up your alley, Crowie.
Yeah, mate. Look, I want to get into it, but I know you're keen to talk about a game on Sunday, so why don't you lead us off with that one, mate?
Yeah, mate, as I was talking about last week, my little road trip for Sunday, PNG versus Tweed at Piggabeen. First versus last. Don't take that as a bad thing.
Now, I was just about to say, first versus last, your mind tells you that's only going to go one way, but I think we know that's not going to be the case.
Exactly. Fortress Piggabeen. We all know you've been there, Crow, with your Tigers. I've been there a couple of times this year to have a look. Certainly a hard place to win at. Big crowds on game day there. Aaron Zimmerle's last game. Lot to play for Tweed. And trying to nab the big scalp of the PNG Hunters.
I mean, every team's got a ground where you just don't want to play, you know it doesn't go well. Now, for my Tigers, Piggabeen is one of those grounds for us. We always struggle to get there. You've played a lot of football, Jarrod. Have you got a ground like that for you is just a place that you know you're going to have a tough day at the office no matter what?
I was just saying to you off camera before that, for us this year at Bulimba, I think that's been lean playing down there. It's a tough field to go to. But off memory, other fields, not from what I can remember that spring to memory anyway.
It's all right.
That background, Jarrod, of South Logan, did you predominantly play out of Davies Park?
Yeah. We played most of our games out of Davies Park as our home ground.
So take us back to those days. You know,
I love Davies Park. If there's one field I want to play on, it's that field. I think it's just everything about it. I think you can just almost feel the history about it when you're there. That'd have to be my favourite field. You know, so
very iconic.
I was there on Sunday when Souths played the Capras, and it was a great day if you were there as a South supporter. You know, they rocked up a lot of points, but more than that, from a coach's perspective, you'd be happy because they stuck to what they had to do. They got the position, but they just kept on rolling. They scored plenty of points, but they never turned it up. They just kept on going, kept racking up the points. Really professional, good effort from Souths.
Very much so, and like we discussed off camera, guys, that I think we all agree that South Logan are the dark horses of this competition. There's certainly no pushovers. They've definitely got those calibre of players in there, and I think we touched on it last week. We were talking about South Logan. Your Phil Dennis's, Jermaine Asako,
Luke Archer on the wing.
Luke Archer, how can you forget Luke Archer?
That's right. G'day, Lukey.
Yeah. So they've got the team there to do it. It's just look what's in front of them though.
That's it. Let's talk about that for a minute. We've talked about PNG playing Tweed on the weekend. Put aside that game, do we actually think PNG can go all the way? Can they win this competition?
Crow, they're on everyone's lips at the moment. Pretenders or contenders? What are they? They're real hard to beat at Callabon Oval, but games that we think that they probably should win, they haven't. So they're a real funny side. When they're on, and when they're off, you sort of scratch your head and think, well, hang on, why are they minor premiers? So.
I'll tell you what, if they'd finished outside the top two, I would stand here right now and say they're pretenders, they're gone. But finish top two, they're going to play probably a home semi-final. Win that, you get a bye and you're in the final. It's a real good draw for finishing in the top two. Now, if they make the final, who knows? And you can't write them off, can you? I mean,
no. Probably something I should throw in the ingredients here. I just read the paper this morning. I thought it was quite interesting. Cost-wise and logistics-wise, if they want that home final in the second week, they're going to have problems having Channel 9 go there because the cost of just bringing all the cameras over and stuff like that is probably way over their head. So there's talk of if they want to be on TV for that Channel 9 game, that they're going to have to come to Australia and play on a neutral ground, whoever that may be.
As they did a couple of years ago when they played Ipswich out at Wynnum, didn't they?
Exactly.
2 seasons ago now?
Yeah.
I think they'll. My gut tells me they'll forfeit the TV game and just take the right to play the game at home. Because you win that, as I said, you're in the final, and surely that's more important than playing a TV game.
Yeah. Jarrod touched on a few things off camera there. They've been down to a couple of winning games Not the season for Wynnum this year.
No.
What were the crowds like down there? Because I didn't get down there much this year.
The games the games that I went to, they always get a good crowd down there. The Wynnum people, they love their footy, they love their club. So the crowds have still been pretty good. It's a good afternoon on a Sunday down there, you know, in the Chook Pen and watching the games from there. But the last game I went and watched down there, it wasn't a very good game to watch. So
No.
they, you know.
We love Peter Gubb though.
We love
the Gubbinator.
I'll echo Jarrod's sentiments. The last game that I went and watched down there wasn't a great game to watch either. We got touched up something fierce, so I don't want to be reliving those memories anytime soon, let me tell you.
No.
Alright guys, having a look at the draw that we've all got in front of us, who are we looking at? We've said that South's the dark horses. Who do we think of those teams? Give me a winner. Who can take it out this year?
Well, everyone throws up the name Redcliffe. There's no arguments from me there either, but I'm still going to stick to my guns. I still like the Sunny Coast. Brandon Smith back this week in at hooker, moving Alex Bishop back to the bench, and when you've got someone of his
calibre on the bench,
exactly right.
Yeah.
Trigger's very lucky. He's got that luxury to do that. So that's, to get those sort of players back from the Storm, that's got to have a positive effect. But in saying that, like you asked the question, Redcliffe for me are always a danger side. They're very strong right across the park. I don't know, what do you think about that, Jarrod?
I must say that after watching a couple of games at the East, they look pretty strong. But I have to agree with you with the Sunshine Coast too. I think there's just something about them. That after watching some of their games, they've got something that when it comes to finals, it might just click, and they could be hard to beat.
Yeah, look, I'm not going to rock the boat. I'm not going to disagree. I think Falcons definitely got to be, even though they're sitting in fourth at the moment, they'll get a win this weekend and potentially jump themselves up into third. We're jumping in my Tigers maybe. Second might be out of reach, but they'll finish third and get themselves a home semi. And I think they're definitely not a dark horse. They're a shining light.
Yeah. I mean, we're both Tigers fans. Let's be honest. And as much as I'd like the Tigers to be in there, I just have this thing about the Sunshine Coast. It's still in the back of my mind. But while we're touching on the Sunshine Coast, and I'll be very interested to see hear your thoughts on this actually, is that social media went into meltdown when the Titans got rid of Neil Henry, and lo and behold, I looked in the Courier Mail and Trigger's name had been thrown up as a potential candidate for the coaching position. Thoughts on that?
No, I don't think so. I think he's very firmly in the camp of the Storm. I haven't spoken to him about it, so there's no inside knowledge here, but my gut tells me there's a long-term career progression there for him in terms of what he's doing with the Storm now. His work with the Storm 20s, at some point Craig Bellely's going to step away and that we needing someone to step in there. My gut tells me that's his career progression.
I've got a very big rap on the man. He's extremely smart. He's taken the Falcons from basically the basement to the penthouse in a couple of years. He's a very astute leader up there, and I think the Sunny Coast and the Storm system haven't signed him for another 12 months for no reason.
Exactly
right. He's there, to build on. But like we were talking about the John Buchanans last week at South Logan, the Scott Sipples at Easts, guys that have been around the clubs for ages. I don't know. Has Scott Sipple got the Arsenal there, Crowe, to get the title?
Oh yeah, absolutely. Look, it sounds like a cliche, but any of these teams, if they're there on grand final day, can win it. I don't think there's any team you can write off. And if Easts are there, if it's an East Redcliffe grand final or an East Falcons grand final, East can take that.
Yeah,
absolutely. But then so could the other team just as easily. It's that calibre of competition.
Exactly right. What are your thoughts on the competition? Like how it's evolved? It's moved from the ABC onto Channel 9. Obviously more viewers. Do you think it's got that name out there now that everyone knows the Intrust Super Cup now?
Oh, I think so, absolutely. Some people, dinosaurs, still call it the Q Cup. Doesn't matter what you call it, we know it's the premier rugby league competition in Queensland.
Yep.
And it's a fantastic competition. I don't think there's any denying that.
Yeah, I'd be very interested to see where we are as cascading down from the NRL. Are we the second strongest competition in Australia? You got the Intrust Super Cup in Sydney. And etc. But I think that the nucleus of these sides, I mean, you just have to go right across the 14 teams there. you know, the players that are in those sides are just. I mean, we had Chris Sandow come back, play for Norse, not there now obviously, but you know, it's attracting those players back into the system.
That's it.
And I think that's you know, that's good for the competition.
It's a fantastic competition, and it's a fantastic way to finish up the night. Big thank you to Jarrod for coming all the way up and joining us at Brighton tonight. Really appreciate that, mate.
Thanks.
Can I just mention one thing, Crow, before we
Go, mate.
And
Please.
I think it's probably well due. Danny Walker, the president of Valleys, lost his father this week. Danny's the backbone of the Valleys club, and from everyone here at Roosters TV, our deepest condolences to the Walker family. And I think, Danny, that you do an exceptionally good job out at Valleys, mate. Keep up the good work.
Yeah, thank you, mate. I missed that. Thank you for bringing that up. Really appreciate that. All right, folks, that'll do it for another fantastic night of Roosters TV. Look for this up on the YouTube channel and the Facebook soon, and we'll see you all next week.